Okay guys, here is your lesson for today before you do that worksheet. Alright, a quick review from Friday about converting between the two different forms. If you start off with a radical, I want you to write it as a rational exponent. Don't forget it's going to be exponent over index. So this is your exponent, that's your index. If you don't see an index, it is a 2. So your answer would be 4 to the 3 over 2. That would convert it from a radical to a rational exponent. Same one on the bottom. You have your x as your base, 5 is your exponent, 3 is your index. If you want to go from a rational exponent to radical form, once again, top number of the fraction is your exponent, the bottom number is your index. So you'll have the radical sign, a 7 for the index position, an x, and a 3 for the exponent. Where you have 2 to the 5 over 6, you'll have the radical, index is a 6, 2, exponent is a 5. Okay, now to simplify some problems. We have 125 to the 2 over 3. Step 1, write it as a radical. Index is 3, you have 125, exponent is a 2. To cancel out a radical, we have to have an exponent be the same as the index. So I need some number to the third power that gets me 125. This is where you go into your calculator and you find a number times the same number times the same number that gets you 125. That number is 5. 5 to the third is 125. Now that you have an index of 3 and an exponent of 3, they cancel each other out, leaving 5 squared because of your 2. And then 5 squared is 25. And you've simplified the expression. Next problem, 81 to the 3 over 4. Once again, rewrite it as a radical. The index is 4. You have 81. Your exponent is a 3. Once again, we need to have an exponent be the same as the index. So we have to find some number to the fourth power that gives us 81. Spend a little time on your calculator, and you'll find that 3 to the fourth power is 81. And now the exponent and the index can cancel out the radical, leaving 3 to the third. Once again, don't forget about your exponent. And that would be 27. That's 3 times 3 times 3 is how you get that 27. Next problem, we have 8 to the 4 over 3. Rewrite it as a radical. 3 is our index. We have the 8, and the exponent is the 4. Once again, we have to get an exponent with the same number as our index. So some number to the third power that gives us 8. 2 to the third power is going to give us 8. Therefore, the radical and the exponent there are going to cancel each other out, leaving 2 to the fourth, and then 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. When you're searching for the value that I've been writing a question mark for, keep in mind that you're picking some number, you're using your exponent button in your calculator, and then you're using whatever index you have. So in this case, for this problem, would be 4. Until you find 3 to the fourth, that would give you 81. So make sure you're using your calculator correctly. Alright, so this problem is just like the ones you were doing. You're just doing it twice, and once you've done it twice, you are then going to add the two numbers together. So we're going to look at the 64 to the 5 over 6. So 64, index is 6. We have the 64 here. The exponent is a 5. We're going to do the same thing to the 36 and the 3 over 2. Index is 2, 36, exponent is a 3. Just like before, we want to go ahead and find some number to the 6th power, because that is the same as our index, to the 6th power, that gets us 64. That value is going to be 2. 2 to the 6 is 64. And therefore the exponent and the index will cancel out, leaving 2 to the 5th, which is 32. Plus, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We got to find a number squared to get us 36. 6 squared is 36. So now the square and the index of 2 will cancel out, leaving 6 to the 3rd. And 6 to the 3rd is 216. We add those two numbers together and we get 248. You're just simplifying each one individually and then you add the two numbers together because we had a plus sign. Okay, for this one, same idea as last time, but instead, once you've simplified each piece, you then multiply the two numbers together. So we're going to rewrite that 81 to the 3 over 2 as a radical. We're going to do the same thing to the 64. So we're going to have to find a number squared that gets us 81 because our index is a 2. Well, 9 squared gives us 81. So now those will cancel out, leaving 9 to the 3rd. And that's 9 times 9 times 9, which is 729. Times, now we're going to do the same thing to the 64. So we got to figure out some number to the 6th power that gives us 64. That's going to be 2. 2 to the 6 is the number 64. These will cancel out now because the index and the exponent are the same. So now you're going to have 2 to the 1st, which is 2. And now we go 729 times 2 to get 1,458.